Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new around here, welcome. My name is Jennifer, so happy to have you. First off, I want to apologize. I'm not going to be on camera today. I have not been feeling well the last few days, and I am just, right now, I'm actually holed up in bed with my kitty Gracie next to me. So if you hear a very loud purring, you'll know that it's my kitty. But I could not pop on without discussing this supposed vision board. And I gotta tell you, trying to get some rest, trying to feel better around here, and then this pops up. I mean, this is just nothing but nightmare fuel. And I know that there have been several articles, a bunch of YouTubers talking about this, but what is going on? First of all, it's not really a vision board. A vision board is supposed to be things that you are aspiring to, things that you want for your future, where you see yourself. I don't know about you, but all I see is things that she's done in the past. The majority of what we have on this board is a harkening back to her TIG days. She's got quotes all over this bulletin board that she, I guess, had on her blog, the TIG. And a lot of them are really silly and nonsensical, if you want my opinion. And we can talk about that in a bit. But the majority that I was seeing here was just trying to reinvent what she used to do with the TIG. And we've come full circle here, ladies and gentlemen, full circle from a royal to an Instagram influencer. And what's really, really sad is that being an influencer is preferable to this woman than working and being a part of an over 1,000-year-old institution, working for the crown. She's sold herself as a humanitarian to her future husband, and she could have devoted her life to working for the crown, and this is what she does. This is what we're doing. The first thing I thought of when I saw this, it's always so blurry. Everything is always so blurry, and I'm just really over this blurry. I'm just over it. I mean, she's deliberately made it so that even if you wanted to pinch and zoom on your phone to see what the heck she's showing you here, you really can't. Everything is fairly blurry. And I'm at the point now where I'm thinking to myself, if you don't want us to see it, then don't post it. Or if you want us to try to work for what you're showing us, like everyone's going to have to enlarge and pinch and zoom and do all this, then why bother? Why are you making everybody jump through hoops constantly so that we have to read between the lines and try to figure out what your messaging is? This doesn't even really make sense. It's like with everything that she's doing, and you would think that she would be a little bit smarter about this. You would think that she would be a little bit more strategic with this, want to have her customer base actually really get on board and understand and appreciate her messaging. But it just seems like she's hell-bent on keeping us guessing constantly. This isn't a good business plan. You don't want your people constantly scratching their head as to what exactly you're trying to do here. And I'll get to that in a second when I talk about Bethany Frankel and her opinion as to why she feels that Meghan is so unpopular and why her business endeavors seem to be tanking. But I think it ties into the point I'm trying to make here, is that we're tired of the smoke and mirrors. We're tired of the back of people's heads. We're tired of this cryptic messaging and marketing you have going on. None of it makes any sense. I just look at this and I think, Meghan, my dear, you are not doing yourself any favors with all of this. It's exhausting. And even when she's trying to be forthcoming, she's not being forthcoming. Anyone that has been following this woman over the last few years or so, we've been following the story. We know she was having trademark problems. She was having problems filing her paperwork. She was late, or she wasn't submitting on time, and things were getting delayed, and all these problems. And we're not stupid. We see what happened. and how the whole as ever thing really came about. Yes, she started the process for as ever in 2022. However, she didn't really move forward with it until this past September 24. And it looks like it's going to go through, but there's certain things she's going to be excluded from. She already has problems. There's a company in China right now, and I'll show you that article in a sec. There's a Chinese company that has been using as ever for some type of fast fashion clothing brand. And everyone already knows now about all that stuff going with as ever NYC. I'll go ahead and link it here, or I'll put it in the description so you can watch it. But I was talking about, I'm by no means saying that I'm the one that broke that story, but at the time that I posted that video, I did not see anybody talking about the As Ever NYC clothing brand at the time I filmed it. And then I would say probably about 10 to 12 hours later is when that all started coming out. But the way I found it was I just typed in As Ever into Google, and that's the website that came up, As Ever NYC. So this company is a smaller company, and they've been getting so much support on social media, people coming to their defense. They've been selling out on a lot of items on their website. Apparently the owner, he's a small business owner. He's had this company since 2015. He didn't secure a trademark, so it does look like hers is going to go through at this point. But my question is, why would you want to do that? Because that is going to really, really turn public tide against her, because it was already really boiling, not boiling over, but it was really getting a little hairy for her there. People were not liking her Netflix trailer. They were not liking their behavior during the wildfires. They've been hating everything she's been posting on social media. And then she's confusing and irritating people, trying to so-called explain to us why it's going from American Riviera Orchard to now As Ever, which she bungled it, we all know, but she's making excuses to us as to why it's happening the way it's happening. Like it's all just so lighthearted and frivolous, and she's just waiting to tell us, and she couldn't it's like, we all know you're changing it because you couldn't secure the the trademark. You and your team, whoever's working with you, bumbled it all. That's why it's changing. So she's being disingenuous with all this stuff that she's putting in social media. And now, if she ends up going forward and using this As Ever, it's not going to leave a good taste in people's mouth. They're going to be more and more ticked off, thinking that she's trying to step over the little guy to get what she wants. She's already pissed that town off in Spain that I talked about in my last video to you guys. I'm sure you all know about it. She's already pissed off that little seaside town in Spain, stealing their coat of arms. The town's actually come out and said, we don't have the money or the resources to sue this woman over our coat of arms, but we would, they're basically saying we respectfully ask you not to use it. Not to use it because your As Ever branding logo looks very much like our coat of arms, and we feel like it's being taken from us. We don't want you to do this. This coat of arms has apparently been around since the 14th or 15th century or something crazy like that. But she's going to go ahead and do it. So she's going to step over these 5,000 or so residents in this small little Spanish seaside town. She's going to stomp all over them and tick their mayor off. And then she's going to tick off all these people that are supporting this As Ever NYC brand and throw the owner under the bus. And she's going to go ahead and do it. So what does she think's going to happen to her professional reputation now? What does she think people are going to think about what she's doing now if she does this? I don't understand any of this. This is just so nuts. So yeah, after all of that, I look at this bulletin board and I think, you're making us work for this. You want all of the sleuths to just pinch and zoom on everything you're doing on here. I mean, we're entering into... I looked at this bulletin board and I thought, is she like in the movies? Like when they're writing their notes and they have to cut up letters from magazines and paste them all together to look weird and cryptic. I mean, like... I know it's a little bit of a stretch, but that's just the vibe I'm getting. Why are you making us work? Why are you making us work for this? Now, people like me that follow this, that are reporting on this to you guys and making these videos, even we're getting irritated. But can you just imagine a person who doesn't really care about the royal family. So they don't even really care about or like the real cool royals. So what makes you think that a person like that is even going to know or follow this lunatic? So even somebody like this, who doesn't really care about the royal family or even her, those are the people she's trying to get, because she can't market to people like me or a person like you watching this video. We have got her number, okay? We know what she's about. There is no way that someone like me or you is going to buy anything this woman's selling. So you would think that she would at least try to be a little nicer to people that don't know her, who like really need to figure out who the hell she is and what she's selling. Like, honestly, I don't even know if I want to pinch and zoom and show you guys some individual photos from this. It's, it's like, why bother? It's just so dumb. It's like she's writing in calligraphy about farm fresh eggs and carrots two ways and sweet treats and all this kind of stuff. I mean, and she's got a picture there, and I figured out who it was because it wasn't Harry. I know this person has way too much hair to be Harry. So the first thing I thought was it was that Alice Walker lady that's, I guess, helped her on her With Love Megan show. And that, by the way, would have been a better, way better name for this supposed new company. At least keep the branding consistent between the Netflix show and whatever merchandise you're going to try to peddle to us. But to have it be As Ever for the merch and then With Love Megan for the show, it's just so discombobulated. I mean, I'm a 50-year-old normal stay-at-home homeschool mom. And I know this stuff. Why do people like us have to explain this type of stuff to this woman? I don't know. I'm just sitting in the bed here laughing with you guys. I know you're laughing with me too. This is just so... I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just a little punchy because it's around 10 o'clock at night when I'm filming this, but seriously. So yeah, so we've got the calligraphy. And I'm sorry, this is not calligraphy, you guys. This is not calligraphy. And then you've got a whole photo montage. And it looks like she's wearing ball gowns. Like she's got a black ball gown that she's wearing. Two pictures of her just from the back. And then it's got her looking like, I don't know, is she holding like a little spoon or something in one of these pictures? And she's holding teacups. And there's a picture here where she's kneeling down in some kind of white dress. And again, all very blurry. And then labels of jam As Ever. But if you look really closely, and again, because she wants to make us work, it says spread. It says spread. Spread is not jam, and spread is not preserves. When I hear the word spread, I think of stuff like Nutella or peanut butter or something. Or if people can't do the peanuts, what is that they have at the grocery store? It's called like the sun butters or something. That's what I think of when I think of it, of spread. Or you could go to In-N-Out and they call the sauce that they put on it spread. So that's what I'm thinking when I hear spread. I think of savory sauces. So yeah, that's just a whole lot of dumb, if you ask me. And then these quotes: "You cannot make everyone happy. You're not a jar of Nutella." I can't. Happiness looks gorgeous on you. I love you with all my butt. I would say heart, but my butt is big. Okay. These were, I guess, direct from her TIG website. Well, she had that website, 2013, 2014, gave it up officially when she got engaged. So this is all circa 2014, 2015, just to be fair to her, okay? Are you kidding me? This is the type of stuff that Pinterest was doing 12 years ago. And then apparently there's some artwork that Archie drew, that star thing. And then there's a watercolor painting of her and Harry, which is kind of creepy because that picture. So sorry, let me back up here. So this watercolor here, that is a picture of her and the Ginger Whinger stealing a kiss with her now deceased dog, is based on a photo that looks exactly like this watercolor. But what creeps everybody out is that their photo that this watercolor is based on is actually what a lot of people think is from a picture she stole of William and Catherine on the beach. Am I making any sense? I swear I am so punchy right now because I can't take this anymore, you guys. I mean, I can take it. I just feel that it's fun at somebody else's expense because it's just so bad. This is the train wreck that you cannot look away from. Okay, you want to see something else? I've got a video here that she put on her Instagram story just about an hour ago. So let's just watch this together, shall we? Okay, so she posted this on her Instagram tonight. Here we go. It says, a small break from work to soak in the weekend. Sorry, I'll try to keep it down.
Only if you want me.
Are you guys as bored as I am right now? All right. Let's discuss, okay? A small break from work to soak in the weekend. I wasn't aware that she worked. Do you remember when they put on their paperwork for Archwell that they worked an hour? Was it an hour a week or an hour a month? Someone tell me in the comments what it was, but either way, it was despicable. You don't work. She is a duchess. So to tell us that you are taking a small break from work to soak in the weekend? Come on, Megan. Every day's a weekend to you. I mean, let's call it what it is. Okay, moving on. Her palatial estate. Look at this. Who's jealous? Lily pads, a little pond, and her palatial estate. That's cute. At first I thought that was the dead dog, but I guess it's not the dead dog. She has another dog, but okay. First blooms and blossoms of the year. Okay, well great. Thanks for pointing that out, Megsy baby. A lot of people around the country right now are freezing their butts off in cold snow, but okay. Thanks for that. Okay. The first thing I thought of when I saw this woman holding a garden hose right now is I was thinking to myself, your state was burning to the ground just a month ago because they didn't have enough water to put everything out. And look how she's fire hosing these plants here. And first of all, you know she doesn't do her own gardening because as you'll see coming up in the video, you can hear the gardening equipment of the team she's probably hired to come and work that place every single day. Did you notice how green everything is around there? How much water are they using on their palatial estate? I want to know. There's the Northwestern t-shirt. She's got a merch. And look at this smile. Who's she smiling at? Ah! Sorry. Is that thing even... Okay, there's my Cartier watch for all of you that were wondering. It's right there, Diana's tank watch. and I'm going to pretend that I'm in the Mediterranean, and I'm going to take an orange and put it in my tasty beverage here. But I have to say, we're not jealous or really impressed. So there's that. Okay, the next thing I wanted to show you guys that caught my eye was Bethany Frankel commenting on Meghan. So let's watch it.
Megan Markle can't win for losing. So you guys were irritated that that trailer for her show was perfect, like Martha Stewart, real simple, perfect. And then you were irritated that she was super all natural, describing her new brand coming out where the name has changed from, I guess, American Orchard to As Ever. And I think the reason she can't win for losing is that there is a lack of identity and understanding as to exactly who she is to the audience. Like, first we're in Montecito and it's all perfect, which would have been fine. Commit to the bit, because they do live in, I think, like $23 million house in Montecito, and it is pretty pristine. So commit to that bit. But I feel like because of a reaction from you guys, now it's more natural and just delivering really unfiltered, fresh out of bed content, and that is turning people off because they're like, wait, what happened to the perfect content? And then the name changed to Ever After. Someone on social media said it's because it was denied, the trademark was denied. So rather than just tell the true story, it's like another reason why the brand is called something else. And I think what's going on is, since the two of them left the monarchy, they've never been able to really get their footing because there's an identity issue.
Okay, let's discuss Bethany's analysis here. And she's good. I do not have a problem with Bethany. She has proved herself in the world of business. This woman has made several very successful businesses. So I'm not questioning her business acumen here. She's halfway there, okay?
Meghan Markle can't win for losing. So
You're absolutely right. She can't. And there's a reason for it, and we're going to get into it.
Were irritated that that trailer for her show was perfect, like Martha Stewart, real simple, perfect.
Okay. Now, you can tell that Bethany is talking from the vantage point of someone who is not as obsessed with all of this like we are. We, like I said before earlier, we know who this woman is. We know what she's about. We also know that the carefully crafted persona that she constantly tries to throw in our face is not who the real, or it's not the real her. And we know that. We know about her time in the royal family. We know everything she did to sabotage that time. We know of all of the people she stepped on, all of the just chaos that she caused while in the family, all the chaos she's caused outside of the family, all the things that go on. So we were not upset that her trailer was too perfect and too Martha Stewart-like. First of all, she's not even in Martha Stewart's league. And I would have think that Bethany would have caught up at least to that point. But okay, whatever. Apparently she doesn't follow it as much. She's nothing like Martha Stewart. The trailer wasn't perfection. Most of the critics were talking about how the trailer... Sorry guys, I'm getting a little raspy. Most of the people were talking about how the trailer was something that would have maybe flown 10, 12 years ago. But not right now. It just seemed all done before. We were talking hummus and vegetables. Okay, that is not perfection. That is old news. But let's go on.
And then you were irritated that she was super all natural, describing her new brand coming out where the name has changed from, I guess, American Orchard to As Ever. And I think the reason she can't win for losing is that there is a lack of identity and understanding.
You know, I have to back up a little bit here because Bethany's saying that
to As Ever, and I think
we were all giving her a hard time because she showed up au naturel. So in Bethany's mind, she was too curated and perfect in the Netflix deal, but then when she shows up on Instagram, all impossibly fresh and breathless and on her Instagram story last week talking about As Ever, that made us mad because we don't really know, is she polished perfection or is she au naturel California girl? No. Everyone saw that Instagram video. that breathless, breathy thing she was doing, that performance where she's giddy and trying to tell us why everything's changed the way it's changed, and the cat was out of the bag and she was shocked that we didn't hear about it before. No, we heard about it. We all knew what was going on. And we knew the reason why she dropped the old logo and the old name. She was trying to serve us a plate that we didn't want it. We didn't order it. Okay? That's why people were upset. So Bethany's off the mark here. She's a very, very smart businesswoman. So she's approaching it from the point of view of someone that doesn't really know a lot about Meghan's backstory and everything that she's been doing and how disingenuous she is and how she just tells half-truths and fibs all the time. I'm trying to be nice here, but she's looking at it from the point of view of just like why she's not succeeding business-wise. But she's not succeeding business-wise not because we can't figure out what her branding is, but that's a big part of it. But she's not succeeding because people don't care for her as a person because of what she's done, because of her actions. And that's what Bethany's not getting.
The reason she can't win for losing is that there is a lack of identity and understanding as to exactly who she is to the audience.
And that would be the case even if she were well liked. Does that make sense? Like what Bethany is saying is entirely true and would be 100% true for someone who would be bumbling in their business endeavors but was still a relatively liked personality. So that would only be 100% correct if she was talking about someone like that. But the reason why she's off the mark, at least by 50% here, is because Meghan is not a person that is a popular person. She's a divisive figure. People don't like her. That's why Bethany's off in her assessment, in my opinion.
First, we're in Montecito and it's all perfect, which would have been fine. Commit to the bit because they do live in, I think, like $23 million house in Montecito, and it is pretty pristine. So commit to that bit. But I feel like because of a reaction from you guys, now it's more natural and just delivering really unfiltered.
That's not it, Bethany. You're off.
Fresh out of bed content. That is turning people off because they're like, wait, what?
What Bethany is doing right now, that's fresh out of bed content. Like what I'm doing right now, sitting in my bed talking to you guys with my laptop, with my voice sounding like garbage, and I apologize. Let me take another drink here. I do apologize again. I'm not feeling the best. Excuse me. But what Bethany is doing is fresh out of bed content. Bethany is off the cuff, natural, being herself. Love her or hate her, she is who she is. She's not changing. So that's why I don't agree with this.
Happened to the perfect content, and then the name changed to Ever After. Someone on social media said it's because it was denied. The trademark was denied. So rather than just tell the true story, it's like another reason why the brand is called something else. And I think what's going on is since the two of them left the monarchy, they've never been able to really get their footing because there's an identity issue.
They haven't been able to get their footing because they're trying to get their little hands in every little pie they can that is the wrong pie to try to stick your hand in. That's why. I wanted to show you guys was this article from thedailymail.com, and it's talking about how she's banned from selling clothes under new As Ever brand. As it emerges, a Chinese fashion firm is among many others to have used the name first. So it talks about how back in October 22, her high-powered lawyers applied for permission to sell aprons and other items of clothing, along with a long list of products including jam and dog biscuits, under this As Ever name. But what ended up happening was the patent office gave her a 145-page document detailing why they're partially rejecting her application. And they gave it to her in July 22. And in that document, it was saying how she could not sell clothing. And the reason was because the Chinese fast fashion brand As Ever was already using it. So she had information way back in July of 23, telling her at the very least that clothing wasn't possible because of this Chinese brand As Ever. So you mean to tell me that at that point, possibly her or someone on her team would have said, let's research this some more. Are there any other companies that might hold this? So this company is based in China, and it supplies clothing to popular high street stores like H&M. So they're basically saying that the marks are identical in sound and virtually identical in appearance, and are thus confusingly similar for the purposes of determining likelihood of confusion. So that's what the trademark office said. So 6 months later, it says here, in January 24, her lawyers filed a revised application which removed any mention of clothing. Do you see what that means? That means that she was still going to go ahead and do it. At that point, if there was a brand, even if they were a Chinese brand and you think, oh, they're not going to affect me because I'm in America or marketing to mostly Europe and America, that's not going to affect me, why would you want to invite problems like that? Why? Or at that point, why, again, like I mentioned before, why wouldn't you do any more research to find out, are there any other companies that have this? They didn't even do that. Like, so unbelievably lazy and inept. I mean, so now it's saying a Los Angeles trademark lawyer just said if she sells clothing under the As Ever brand, she risks being sued. And then this article from Town and Country. It's literally mostly pictures. It's maybe 3 paragraphs, and all it talks about is she just teased her first products. So it's got a picture of her vision board here saying that this is what she said on her vision board, and this is a picture of the vision board. And then they say here, what caught our eye were the 2 hints at whatever could sell. The menu in the top left, written in Megan's calligraphy, which reads farm fresh eggs, carrots 2 ways, and sweet treats. And then they're talking about the labels. So these are supposedly what Town and Country's writer is saying are hints of what she could sell. Okay, I get possibly selling spread, but are you telling me that Megan's going to sell farm fresh eggs and carrots 2 ways? Is that what we're doing now? And then there's talking about how she shared earlier this week about why her brand is As Ever. So they're quoting her video from Instagram. And then she continued, of jam is my jam. And she sent out jam to her friends. And that's the end of the article, you guys. And then you come up to the bio of the senior news editor of Town and Country, the person that is proud to say that they wrote this article. This is what Town and Country is serving up to us, folks, hot and fresh from the senior news editor. I feel caught up, don't you? I can't right now. I can't. Oh. Okay, I've gotten myself together. And what I'll say, really what I look at and feel when I look at this supposed bulletin board, vision board, whatever it's supposed to be. It's sad because it, to me, represents a person that doesn't really know who they are. She's trapped in the past, and she's also really, really tortured and hurt and upset by the way that we see her. Because we see her floundering, we're calling her out on bad behavior, and she doesn't like it. She wants us to really, really get with the program and see her the way that she wants us to see her. This effortlessly chic, impossibly fresh, trend-setting, royal, humanitarian woman who's just the jack of all trades, and she wants to be that everything for us. But we don't need her to do that for us. And I really wish she would stop trying to beg us, because she doesn't need to beg anybody for anything. She needs to stop worrying about what the world thinks of her. And she needs to start really looking inward and try to find some peace and meaning in this life. I will tell you that the only peace and meaning that this woman is ever going to find is in Jesus Christ. Not in this. And she's going to have to really start waking up that the past is the past, and she has to deal with her present. And in her present, people don't like what they see. And she has to face up to it. She cannot try to throw something in our face that's a 10-year-old past vision of who she was, as if to say, this is who I am now, accept me. No. She has to stop. And she has to really look inward. And I'm going to continue to pray for this woman because this cannot go on. And at this point, I am kind of worried and wondering for her, because I think what's swirling around her and inside, not only what's swirling around her, but what's inside of her, in her heart and soul, there's just a big void going on. If this is all she can give us, she's so consumed with trying to get people to love her. And this is not the way to go. This is all wrong. Forget about us. Forget about this business. Forget about all of it. Pay attention to your family. Pay attention to your soul, your heart and soul. Get right with God. Get right with something. I don't really think she's interested in Jesus Christ. She goes to the church of what's happening now. But this woman needs to stop this. This is a wake-up call for all of us. This is what happens when you pursue fame and money over everything else. And I don't even think it's money. People argue that she's obsessed with money, but she does have enough money to go off and live quietly and comfortably for the rest of her days without worrying about anything. This is beyond money. This is the search for fame. And people are like this even when they're rich, even when they have enough, but they need that love and that admiration and that fame. That speaks to that hole in her heart and soul that I'm talking about. This is something that cannot be mended with money. This is where Jesus comes in. So that's all I got for you guys right now. I'm going to go ahead and edit this baby tomorrow, go to bed, get some rest. But I had to get on and talk to you about this. Yes, we're irritated and we're pointing out all the stuff that's annoying. But I wanted to end on this because this is what's important. And we do need to continue to call her out, because if that's what it's going to take to get her to wake up, then that is a good thing. Now, I'm not talking about name calling or anything like that. I'm just talking about critiquing what she's doing and why it's not right. Because she's still hurting people. She's taking people's brands, their identities, their logos. It's just, all this just needs to stop. So let's all say a little prayer for her today. Wherever you are in your day right now, just stop when you close this video up and just say a little 30-second prayer. Jesus, God in heaven, please. Give this woman some light and love in her heart and soul. Show her how she doesn't need this, how she only needs you. So, I love you guys. Thank you for listening to my rant. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you very soon.